Six Nations Week 3 has come to a close with Ireland getting an expected victory over Italy, 26 points to 16. It was perhaps a wee bit closer than everybody expected. I feel like it's a game where nobody's truly happy, but everybody's kind of satisfied. And that, I mean, Italy would certainly take a 10-point loss against Ireland probably before this game started. They certainly save a lot of face after a result like this. They wouldn't be talked about as a team that needs to get cut in favor of Georgia. But likewise, they'll be pretty disappointed that they couldn't convert from being up at half-time to score no points in the second half and then eventually have the game taken away from them. For Ireland, I mean, sure, take a bonus point win. That's exactly what you needed going into this one. But again, the fact that you were kind of behind at halftime and didn't really, I suppose, dominate as was expected, I guess, people won't be entirely happy with that. They'll say, if you performed that way against another team with those errors, perhaps it wouldn't have been the same result. But as I said, everybody takes the result. Italy hold their heads high that they put in a good effort, and Ireland got the bonus point when needed. So satisfied, I think, is about as much as we're going to get out of it. But I enjoyed the game for sure. It was because I didn't know the result. I didn't get up for it live. I got up as the second half would have just been starting. I made sure I didn't turn the radio on, and watched it in full. And I wasn't sure how the game was going to go, which was a nice surprise as a neutral to see Italy putting in a good shift. It started with a try from Rugby, which was kind of to be expected. That guy just powered towards the post, made it 7-0 after about 19 phases of Irish attack. Italy missed a penalty from about 40 metres out, and I'm not sure why they take penalties when they're in that kind of position. I know they want to get points on the board, but Tommaso Allen doesn't seem to be that kind of reliable kicker that he's going to kick those ones with any regularity. So I would have thought kick for touch and chance your arm, but it didn't seem to matter because they got a penalty not long after and made it 3 points to 7. But then immediately they stuffed up the kickoff. They didn't get their lifted guy under the ball. The ball bounced loose. Campanaro couldn't control it, and Stockdale just absolutely hammered it down home. For Ireland's second try, they missed the conversion. It was 12-3. Italy kicked the penalty, 12-6. Padovani got his try after Hayward, who it's my best viewing of him in an Italian shirt. Not that I've seen him that many times, but I saw him in November. Always looked kind of pedestrian, but he looked proper in this game. Had a good line break. So, that all started from Ireland losing their own line-out, which I'll kind of get back to a bit later. But, that made it 11 points to 12 because they missed the conversion. Then Morosi got his try on 38 minutes after Tipaldi, who put in a pretty good shift himself. It was nice to have him back for Italy. They kind of hit them on the counter from that turnover, although they did push one of the Irish players over. I think it might have been Earls, or was it Conway? I can't remember. But they pushed one of the guys over who was chasing, so that was a bit silly and could have been penalised, but it wasn't. And a few phases later, they went and scored. Took the lead 16 points to 12 at half-time. Pretty unexpected. Ireland weren't as cohesive as we know they could be. But they still managed to turn it up a wee bit in that second half. Italy weren't able to score any points, as I said. Earls got a try after finding a gap that just wasn't there. And I guess that guy's knack is to just find a little gap that's not there. A half gap, maybe even a quarter gap. He finds a way to nick through it. And he scored a try. It was after a lot of phases again. They were just kind of hammering it down. And then it took him to break that through. Murray missed the conversion. It was 16 points to 19. So Ireland back in front. And then Murray got his try from a big maul. That made it 16 points to 26, and that was all she wrote in terms of scoring. So it's a 10-point win. The key point here is the 4 tries. A pity for Italy that they didn't get a losing bonus point. They probably put in enough of an effort for one, but hey, at least they put in a pretty good effort. So both sides kind of defensively were turning each other over early, putting on a lot of good hits, and there was a fair bit of spilled ball on both sides. The Irish, especially Joe Schmidt, I think will be pretty disappointed with some of the handling because we know he sets pretty high standards, and we know those guys are capable of better than that. Aki unfortunately went off for an HIA fairly early and didn't come back. Tipoldi, as I said, kind of came in after being injured early on in the Six Nations. He didn't play in that first game when he was injured in the warm-up or something, but he definitely made a difference. I haven't seen that much of him, but I remember watching him in November when Italy played Australia, and Australia were playing Jake Gordon, I think he was on debut for the Wallabies, and I've really liked him at Super Rugby, and I was looking forward to see how he would go with that number 9 jersey on Australia, but it was all about Tipoldi that day. So good to have him back. He definitely put in a good effort. But yeah, there's just funny things that kept happening. Like Sexton kicked one of his kickoffs and didn't go 10 meters. That's pretty uncharacteristic. Rob Kearney dropped a high ball. He's just Mr. Reliable. So it was just little things like that for Ireland that weren't quite going right. Earls made a line break, and he was on proper good form in this one. So was Stockdale, but they weren't able to convert from one of his breaks. So yeah, they both kind of held each other out for about the last 10-15 minutes, and there wasn't any scoring. Italy had a chance to kick a penalty right at the end to secure the losing bonus point, but McKinley missed that one. Stockdale then took that ball and tore up the field, but they again weren't able to score. There was a knock-on eventually. So yeah, Italy ultimately no bonus point. Ireland did enough. It was an entertaining game for me as a neutral. I don't know how you guys feel. I think, as I said, if you're Irish or Italian fan, you probably mixed emotions on that one. But in terms of stats, Italy had less ball, which is to be expected, 43% possession and territory. But interestingly, run meters were exactly the same, 501 to 501. This is according to ESPN. Turnovers conceded. Ireland had more with 15 to Italy's 14. Joe Schmidt, I don't think will be very pleased again, as I said, with that one. He does like to retain ball for as long as possible. Also, goal kicking, Italy, man, 33%. Costly in a game that was that close, especially when you combine it with Stockdale's try that was pretty much a gift. I mean, the guy had to work for it, but giving a guy like Stockdale that opportunity, he's going to punish you. So, yeah, they couldn't afford to make that mistake, and they did. Ireland kicked at 75%, but lineouts, 75% for Ireland is a low number, and that's something that gets kind of focused on when Best isn't playing. But, hey, what are you going to do? It was wasn't the be-all and end-all for this one, but it was still another area, I guess, to work on. Italy were 80%, but they had far fewer lineouts. Italy conceded 14 penalties to Ireland's 9, which, again, you can't afford to be doing against a team like Ireland because they're going to punish you. But, hey, there were still some standout performers. Hayward, like I said, 148 run meters is absolutely ridiculous. That's kind of like Super Rugby, nobody knows how to tackle numbers. 148 run meters, beat 5 defenders. But if that's not good enough, Stockdale had 151. One step even better, and he had 9 defenders beaten. The guy is just a powerhouse player. Delane had 20 out of, I think, 21 tackles, and Geraldini did one better. He with 21 tackles, but I think he missed 3. So kind of good efforts on both sides. Entertaining game. It really sets things up nicely now because Ireland got that bonus point win. They're on, I think it's 9 points. England with that loss are on 10, and Wales still unbeaten, but not they didn't get any bonus points against Italy or France. Are on 12, so it's still kind of anyone's game. Wales still have to drop a game for anybody else to have a chance. That's the way that kind of bonus point thing works with the Grand Slams, if you can get one. But yeah, it's still a lot to play for, and these final 2 weeks are going to be pretty exciting. Ireland will be hosting France, who may be a touch resurgent after their win over Scotland, and Italy go over to face England, who will be looking to, I guess, get back on form after their loss to Wales. So, yep, that was the game. You guys let me know what you thought of it. Key performers, key moments. What did you think for both sides? Do you kind of agree that it's a bit of a mixed emotions, or are you pretty happy with the result? Yeah, you guys let me know your thoughts. I'll talk to you again soon. See you later.